I want you to 100% know and believe that every single night when I came home from work, I threw everything that I was wearing into the dryer for it to dry, including my shoes, and went and showered because I was like obsessed and thinking that I got it from my job. Like I was like, it has to be from my job. Every time I would scratch myself or itch a neck or whatever at my job, I'd be like, you guys gave me bed bugs. But I resisted saying anything. The only thing I said was, is anybody else getting bitten? I feel like I'm being bitten. I'm so itchy. And they were like, what? No. And I was like, melanated. So much anxiety about it. Every night having to come home, not being able to come to my room and relax, having to like sleep either downstairs on the couch or sleep in the other room. And it was the holidays, so like all my cousins kept coming, and like I didn't want to bogart the room, especially when like I had a room that I was quarantining. I did like a fogger bomb with Raid, which I don't recommend doing that. It's apparently you're not supposed to do that. It's like the wrong thing to do. I like quarantined my room. It was just like this whole stressful situation. Could you imagine every single night coming home, throwing all of your clothes into the dryer, being at work, being uncomfortable while you're trying to work? And it's just like, it was just terrible. It was a terrible mental, and I just felt like I had a headache the entire time. And it wasn't until like, honestly, 2 days ago, maybe even a day ago, that I felt the most comfortable about the situation. I was able to even talk to anybody about it, like besides my immediate family or like anyone, because I was just so stressed out about it, worried that I had tracked whatever pests into the other room. I didn't get bit at all after I like freaked out. I never got any. I only had the bite that one day, and it itched for only one day and then went away. And that is not at all what bedbug bites are like for me. They are like 3 bites in a row, itchy as hell for like days. So like I just stressed myself out to the max, and like no one could bring me back. That's the one thing in life I wish I had, is someone in my life that could bring me back from the ledge. I do. Chris Fair is that person for me, but like if I don't feel like telling her something, then like I'm doing it by myself 100%. So I'm better now, but now I want to go into another video that's talking about anxiety. I wanted to make the anxiety video like a funny video, because I feel like I don't want to, like, you know, everybody on here is talking about my depression, my anxiety. I'm going to be looking over into my viewfinder right now. I low-key don't like it when YouTubers look into the viewfinder when they're filming, because I'm like, look into the camera lens, but like YouTubers that I love look into the viewfinder, which is, I have a hard time watching them because sometimes I do. Anxiety. So what anxiety is for me. Like I said, I wanted to try to make it a funny video because talking about depression and anxiety on YouTube is just so passe. It's something that really kind of, it doesn't hold me back, I think, of doing things in life, but specifically with the YouTube, that's what's bothered me, is that my anxiety has stopped me from filming videos. Like I really want to do morning tea, but I'm going to be super honest with you guys. And I'm not blaming anybody because this is all me and in my head. My Ryan Lochte video where I talked about not wanting to travel to other countries and seeing the response I got from me, even though the response that I got from other people that was negative wasn't overwhelming at all. It was like maybe 3 or 4 people who like had a problem with me saying that I don't want to travel to other countries unless I have like an escort or someone there who's from there, who lives there, can show me around and tell me how to behave. It didn't even get that much. And what I read after rereading it isn't even like earth shattering, but at the time I just wasn't prepared for it. Like when I talked about that Japanese family leaving their kids on the side of the road, and that parent in Cleveland having Harambe beat up that attack their son, like I thought I was going to get way more backlash from parents for that, so I prepared myself for it, but I did not prepare myself for getting shit talked about me, or for getting shit said to me about Ryan Lochte. And so when it happened, my guard wasn't up and I was open, and it hit me, and it like, oh, and I was just like, oh my God, am I saying, is it like this first world problems? Am I being privileged? Am I da-da-da-da-da? What's wrong with me saying that I don't want to travel? Is that some crazy like American stupidity that I have? Am I like, blah, 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 blah. Why can't I want to travel to a country where I know someone? Like, what's wrong with me? Like all of a sudden it sent me into this huge like spiral, and I didn't want to give my opinion anymore. And it's not the job of any of you guys who watch this channel, who support me, to defend me. It's my job to not freak out. And I had this feeling of like not wanting to disappoint Black women, who was my main audience. And so when I feel like when I feel like I've upset them or I've said something, I get really sensitive about it. And it just throws me off. And so it's not anyone's job to protect me from their feelings, right? It's not that. It's more so just that it just happens to me and I need to like be prepared. But that preparation is what causes the issue. It just threw me into anxiety. I was afraid to talk about anything because I didn't want to fight. I don't want to fight with anybody on this channel. I just want to have open dialogue and conversation. I want you to tell me how you feel in a way that doesn't make me feel like I'm being a complete monster. Like, I'm not a Tommy Sotomayor. I'm not a Tommy Lauren or whatever her name is. I'm not somebody who's out here to be aggressively whatever, in my opinion. I'm here as somebody to hear what's going on, tell you my opinion and get feedback and like have a dialogue and discuss what we're talking about. And if I'm wrong, I'm fine with being wrong, but like being made to feel like me being wrong is a disappointment to you, be made to feel like I'm disappointing somebody with my point of view. Like, it really isn't that deep. All you have to do is tell me what your point of view is and like how mine could be wrong, and I just need to see it from another perspective. And then that's fine. But when it becomes like very much, when I feel like it's happening like this, it like freaks me out. That's the deal with morning tea and why I haven't really been doing it. And also why I really haven't been doing it. And this is on a bigger level, is because I just, like, now that, this is a stupid reason when I think about it, I feel a little like the Obamas are leaving office. And so now like politics aren't for me or about me. And like, maybe I was disillusioned to believe that like, because we had a black president and a black first lady and a black family in the White House, that things were different, but it felt different and it felt hopeful and different for me. And so now we're going to such an extreme with this next family that I kind of don't want to care about what happens, which is dumb. I need to care. I need to keep in it. This is the time where I do need to keep my feet on the ground and I do need to stay involved. And every time I see a headline, I just swipe right because I'm just like, I can't right now. Like, I'm going through my own bed bug situation and I'm having my own internal stuff and I can't right now. It's too much. It's just too much. I've had like I feel like a permanent migraine for the last week and a half and I just need to like chill. I do have a very distinct memory of when I was younger of being told like I made some mistake as a kid does, and I just had no idea that mistake was going to happen. I had a parent tell me that I needed to think. And like, I don't even know what the situation was. All I have is a memory of seeing their mouth, the words, "You have to think before you make choices," or "think before you do whatever." And so like, that has been my life since then. I'm like a choose your own adventure in my own head. I think about every single possibility of every outcome of anything that could ever happen in any given moment. When I'm driving, that is how I drive. I drive where I'm like, okay, if this person gets over and then I don't do this and then I have to get over real quick, so I need to make sure there's no one on this side of me so that I can just go over real quick. I think about everything constantly, all the time. I'm like a chess player of life. I'm terrible at chess. I don't play, but I know that's what I'm doing. I'm just thinking about every single outcome based on what other people do. And that is crazy because you can't control other people. But for so long, I tried to control every single situation I was ever in so that I could think about the possible outcome so that I could make the right choice. And I have to say that has helped me a lot. I'm in a place in my life where I don't have a child and I'm not saddled with some huge debt or some crazy situation because I didn't think, because I just let myself like do whatever. And I'm also super grateful that like, I don't drink, so a lot of my decisions are made clear-headed, not under the influence of alcohol, and alcohol makes everything seem like it's a great idea. It's helped me, but it's also been at a detriment. Like, I can't just be like in a moment enjoying things. I'm always thinking 3 steps ahead. I'm always worried. I'm always like thinking about other people and like not necessarily what they're doing, but how their actions are going to affect me. And because of that, sometimes when things happen that are out of my control, I'm able to just let it go because I'm like, look, I thought of 15 different scenarios for me making a right turn on the street, and that one wasn't one of them, so that's not my fault, But I still feel like the things that I'm unable to anticipate, I still get chastised for, I still get talked about for, I still get... there's still consequences for that, and that bothers me because if everyone knew how much I thought about everything I do constantly, that when a mistake is made, they wouldn't be so quick to be mad at me or to be upset or to think that whatever I'm doing is malicious or that I was just being careless, because what I am not is careless, because I think about it all the time, but that causes a great deal of anxiety because I put, I put emotions and on feelings on things. I can walk into a situation completely ready to battle, something, and have that battle never happen and be just hyped, ready to battle. And it's not going to happen. It never happened. It never was going to happen, but it's just an outcome that I anticipated. And so I just guarded myself for it. And I feel like sometimes that does leave me lacking or not open to a lot of new or different situations. Now, sometimes it's good, but sometimes it is bad. You gotta just move and move left, move right, move stick left, ooh, ah, ooh, ah. Like that's what it feels like all the time. All the time. And it's so stressful. It's what got me out of the bed right now to film this video for you guys. And so it's great. It works. It's great as a motivator, but sometimes it's too much and I can't even move. And then that leads into depression, which again is a whole other video. And I think depression for me is a more of a long running thing. It's something that like has always been there. It's a feeling. It ebbs and flows. It goes up and down. When I was younger and I didn't know what it was, I called it the nothing. It's like sometimes I'd be running like a Treyu, and I'd be running and I would see the nothing coming and I could feel it coming upon me, and then it would grasp me, and then I would be in the dark for a couple weeks and I couldn't see, and then finally I would see the light at the end of the tunnel and I would run toward it and I would break free, and then I would be great and I'd be happy and I'd be able to clear-headed and be able to see forward, and it wasn't just like a faking of happiness and a faking of smiles and a faking of feelings, and then it would creep back up on me again and capture me. So it's something that's always going to be in my life, and it's so much easier to manage when I don't have someone else's emotional grid to deal with. And it terrifies me that one day I could have someone else to deal with and they wouldn't understand the ebb and flow, and they would mess up my whole entire coping mechanisms. But yeah, so that's all I'm going to talk about anxiety right now. Depression video is a whole other video, and I have to be able to really map it out in a way that isn't pointing fingers. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. Have a fantastic day. Bye.